do this morning is just give you some practical tools and tips to enable you to, I suppose, look after and future-proof your own mental health. So the presentation this morning is going to be roughly about 20 minutes. So as Aoife previously said, I just hope you all just make yourself comfortable and just allow yourself to have that time for yourself as well. I hope that you find the workshop relaxing, and the next 20 minutes or so will just give you some time and space to think about your own well-being. So the first area just that we're going to look at here this morning is self-care. So when we talk about self-care, we're referring to the activities and practices. Apologies. We're referring to the activities and practices that we deliberately choose to engage in on a regular basis that helps us maintain and enhance our health and well-being. And I suppose what it really means is that we're taking time to look after ourselves and treating ourselves with kindness and understanding. But as we know, this is a lot easier said than done. If you'll notice, the word deliberately there is in the definition. And I suppose when it comes to self-care, it's about consciously and regularly doing things that help us feel good in ourselves. Some people may feel themselves that it can be selfish, but it certainly isn't selfish. And I suppose if you think about the advice you get when you're just about to take off on a plane, you're always advised to put on your own oxygen mask first, for the simple reason that it's easier to help another when you have, first of all, taken care of yourself. So it's far from selfish. And it means that you're simply being mindful of your own needs so that you're better able to support the people that you care about. And it isn't always easy, and it does take effort. But I suppose the great thing about it is that, once you make it a habit and you start to feel the benefits of it, it does actually get a lot easier. So you might ask, you mightn't be familiar with self-care. You might ask, what is self-care? So I suppose self-care really, it's no one particular thing for any given person. It can be made up of different things and different ways that we can look after ourselves. And what you see on screen here is something that's called a self-care toolkit. So what you might find is that you need different types of self-care on different days of the week, maybe, or at different times throughout the day. Some days you might need to get to bed a little bit earlier. Other days you might need to just clear the head and get out for a walk, or even just catch up with a friend. But I suppose the hard thing is nowadays in kind of modern life is that sometimes maybe we're just too busy. There's too much going on between work and family life and home life that we maybe forget that we need to do these things just to look after ourselves. But just within the self-care kit, and again, this might differ from individual to individual as well as from day to day. So some of the things that you might engage in to, I suppose, promote self-care within yourself is different interests and hobbies. So it might be music, it might be the arts, it might be fishing, just whatever, I suppose, whatever you have an interest in yourself, and giving yourself time to engage in that interest. Being active, I suppose, is another form of self-care, and one that I would try to engage in myself. And I suppose we know that when we're active, we will, release endorphins, and this will kind of instantly boost our mood, which also kind of reduces the risk of depression, and it will boost our self-esteem as well. Connecting with others, I think that we probably saw that in the last few years during the lockdowns, that maybe when we couldn't connect with others, that it did perhaps have an impact on our mental health and mental well-being. So this could be, visiting family, visiting friends, maybe volunteering, getting to know people in your local community as well. Taking time to relax, I suppose, is another one. Whatever way that you find that you best relax, whether it's maybe sitting down watching a movie, or watching one of your favorite programs on TV, or reading a book, or just sitting back and listening to music. I suppose, again, it's a method of self-care that some people might use themselves. You'll see the 3 Z's there just in the bottom right of the image. And again, that just obviously refers to, I suppose, good sleep and good sleep quality. Perhaps having a regular bedtime routine if you can, if that's manageable. Just making sure that, we're perhaps not engaging with technology or screens maybe an hour out from going to bed, and reducing our daily caffeine, especially from the afternoon, which can all impact on us having a good night's sleep. So that's just some of the ideas there, just ways that we can promote self-care again within ourselves. And I suppose the best way to make sure that that happens on a regular basis is just to make it a habit as much as we can, because what you'll find over time, maybe as time goes on, willpower and motivation can fade. But I suppose if we have structured habits, perhaps at certain times of the day or certain times of the week, that these will become automated over time, and gets to the stage then perhaps where you're not even thinking about them, that they're just part of your daily or your weekly life. And the added benefit to that as well is it's having a positive impact on your mental health and your mental well-being. So the benefits are endless, and I'm sure for anybody that engages or has a self-care toolkit, would atone to these benefits. So it will improve our self-esteem, it helps us rest and relax, it will benefit our relationships with our family and others. It helps us to function throughout the day. If during the day we face something maybe that troubles us or worries us, it can help us to cope or overcome that as well. And just overall, I suppose it energizes us and makes us that bit more optimistic as well. So as I mentioned there previously, sometimes we're just a little bit too busy to notice or to recognize how we're feeling, and what we need to do to look after ourselves. And this is just a little exercise here that we can do, that is very popular with any groups that I've done it with before. So it's what's called a body scan. And it just helps us just to check in with ourselves and our body, and ask ourselves what we need to do to look after ourselves at any given time that we need. So what we're going to do, we're just going to mindfully just scan our body, just paying attention to the different sensations within our body. So you might feel pain, you might feel tension, heat, or hunger if you haven't had your 11 o'clock break yet. And what that allows us to do is just connect into our body. And the benefits that it'll bring, it'll improve awareness, obviously, of how we're feeling. It'll reduce overall stress. It will aid our sleep and time, and it'll also increase our self-compassion for ourselves. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen very quickly, and I'm going to share again and include the sound this time. And hopefully that comes up. So I'm just going to go on to the next slide. And I'll ask you now just to get as comfortable as you can. I'll invite you to close down your eyes, and I'm just going to guide you through a very, very simple 5-minute body scan. So you're just going to begin by making yourself comfortable in the chair, allowing your back to be straight but not stiff, with your feet firmly on the ground. You can also do this practice by standing, or if you prefer, if you have the facility this morning, you can lie down and have your head supported. Your hands can be resting gently in your lap or at your side. Allow your eyes to close or remain open with soft gaze. So we're just going to begin by taking several long, slow, and deep breaths. Breathing in fully and exhaling slowly. Breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. Feel your stomach expand on an exhale, and relax and let go as you exhale. Begin to let go of the noises around you. Begin to shift your attention from outside to inside yourself. If you were distracted by sounds in the room, simply notice these and bring your focus back to your breathing. Now slowly bring your attention down to your feet. Begin observing sensations in your feet. You might want to wriggle your toes a little, feeling your toes against your socks or shoes. Just notice without judgment. You might imagine sending your breath down to your feet, as if the breath is traveling through the nose, to the lungs, and through the abdomen, all the way down to your feet. And then back up again, out through your nose and lungs. Perhaps you don't feel anything at all. That is fine too. Just allow yourself to feel the sensation of not feeling anything. When you are ready, allow your feet to dissolve in your mind's eye and move your attention up to your ankles, calves, knees, and thighs. Observe the sensations that you are experiencing throughout your legs. Breathe into and out of your legs. If your mind begins to wander during this exercise, gently notice this without judgment and bring your mind back to noticing the sensation in your legs. If you notice any discomfort, pain, or stiffness, do not judge this. Just simply notice it. Observe how all the sensations rise and fall, shift and change, moment to moment. Notice how no sensation is permanent. Just observe and allow the sensations to be in the moment, just as they are. Breathe into and out from the legs. Then, on the next out breath, allow the legs to dissolve in your mind and move to the sensations in your lower back and pelvis, softening and releasing as you breathe in and out. Slowly move your attention up to your mid and upper back. Become curious about the sensations here. You may become aware of sensations in the muscle, temperature, or points of contact with furniture. With each out breath, you may let go of tension you are carrying, and then very gently shift your focus to your stomach and all the internal organs here. Perhaps you notice the feeling of clothing, the process of digestion, or the belly rising or falling with each breath. If you notice opinions are rising about these areas, gently let these go and return to noticing sensations. As you continue to breathe, bring your awareness to the chest and heart region and just notice your heartbeat. Observe how the chest rises during the inhale and how the chest falls during the exhale. Let go of any judgments that may arise. On the next out breath, shift your focus to your hands and fingertips. See if you can channel your breathing into and out of this area as if you were breathing into and out of your hands. If your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the sensations in your hands. And then on to the next out breath. Shift the focus and bring your awareness up into your arms. Observe the sensations or lack of sensations that may be occurring here. You might notice some difference between the left arm and the right arm, or vice versa. No need to judge this. As you exhale, you may experience the arms soften and release tensions. Continue to breathe and shift focus to the neck, shoulder, and throat region. This is an area where we often have tension. Be with the sensations here. It could be tightness, rigidity, or holding. You may notice the shoulders moving along with the breath. Let go of any thoughts or stories you are telling yourself about this area. As you breathe, you may feel the tension rolling off your shoulders. On the next out breath, shift your focus and direct your attention to the scalp, head, and face. Observe all the sensations occurring here. Notice the movement of the air as you breathe into or out of the nostrils or mouth. As you exhale, you might notice the softening of any tension you may be holding. And now, let your attention expand out to include the entire body as a whole. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, down to the bottom of your toes. Feel the gentle rhythm of the breath as it moves through the body. As we come to the end of this practice, take a full, deep breath, taking in all the energy of this practice, and then exhale fully. And when you are ready, open your eyes and return your attention to the present moment. As you become fully alert, consider setting the intention that this practice of building awareness will benefit everyone you come into contact with today. So we're just going to move on now. I hope everyone enjoyed that and took some benefit from it. And again, that's a short little body scan, and if you haven't the time, you can shorten it a little bit yourself as well. That hopefully you'll be able to include in some part of your day or when you feel that you most need it. So we're going to move on now next to understanding our thoughts. And our thoughts can impact on how we feel, how we act, and how we relate to others and view ourselves. And if we really want to understand our emotions, feelings, actions, and outlook, I suppose what we need to look at firstly, we need to start with how we think. We might be very stressed in work or in daily life, and sometimes that can leave us feeling overwhelmed, and then for no particular reason at all, we might snap at someone that we really care about. It's been said that we have over 70,000 thoughts per day, and it's not possible to process all of these thoughts. Probably the majority of them, if we're being honest, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. So one way that we can clear our thoughts is to practice mindfulness. And as you can see from the image up here on screen, the one on the left, we have a mind that is full of thoughts, versus the one on the right, the practices mindfulness. So the one on the left, obviously there's a lot of consternation, probably for want of a better word, and the other C then on the right, there's a lot more clarity. So mindfulness is a great way to clear our head of thoughts that we can't do anything about. You might be stressing about something that might happen, or there's something ruminating on us that is in the past that has annoyed us. So we're just going to move on now again to a short little practice that I hope that you can gain benefit from, and it's called Leaves on a Stream, and it just helps us practice a little bit of mindfulness. So again, just make yourself comfortable, and I'll invite you just to watch and listen to our next video. So I invite you just to focus your attention on the screen of our lovely stream gently flowing. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you are ready, if you wish, you can slowly close your eyes and focus on the sound of the stream gently flowing. Imagine you are sitting beside that stream, watching it flow past you. Notice the leaves from the nearby tree flowing into the stream and floating along the surface of the water. For the next few moments, take each thought that enters your mind and place it on a leaf. Let it float past and watch it float away down the stream. Do this with each thought that enters your mind. If your thoughts momentarily stop, continue to watch the stream and listen. Sooner or later, the thoughts will start again. Allow the stream to flow at its own pace. Don't try to speed it up and rush your thoughts along. You're not trying to rush the wheels along, you're allowing them to come and go at their own pace. If you become distracted, place those thoughts and leaves to and let them pass. If a thought gets stuck, return your focus to the flow of the stream. Place that thought on a leaf and watch it float through. If a difficult or painful feeling arises, simply acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I notice myself having this thought, and I am placing it on the leaf and allow it to float away. Continue to focus on the sound of the stream, carrying away your thoughts into the distance. And then when you are ready, we invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes and return to your attention. So again, just a short little snippet, short little tool that again will best help us to practical mindfulness if it is the case that we need it throughout any given day. And the last thing I'm going to look at this morning is just in terms of understanding our emotions. And again, I just mentioned earlier about, society nowadays is obviously a lot busier. We've a lot more going on. And because of that, perhaps sometimes we're so busy that we are more distracted and we don't actually notice our emotions or what has caused them. This means that sometimes when we feel irritated and short-tempered and we got frustrated, that we don't actually know why. Sometimes we might be rushing and racing that much that we don't pay attention to the feeling of gratitude we might have experienced when someone is kind to us. While positive emotions are what we want to feel most, such as the ones on the right, there is no such thing as a bad emotion, which you may group as the ones on the left. All emotions are valid. We can't prevent the emotions on the left, but we can learn to cope with them so that we don't become overwhelmed. And a good way to do this is, again, another little tool that I'm going to share with you now. It's just in terms of a breathing exercise that can be used to help to cope with challenging emotions, which just give ourselves a moment to allow the rational side of our brain to catch up with the emotion that we are feeling. So just to finish up now this morning, again, I'll ask you just to make yourself as comfortable as you can, whether you're sitting or standing. And I'm going to ask you just to keep your eyes open for this one. So you're going to pay your attention to the screen, and we're going to do a little exercise called box breathing. So you'll see the little box in front of you, just with the white outline. So what we're going to do, we're going to follow the blue dot on the screen. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. Then we're going to hold our breath for 4 seconds. Breathe out or exhale for 4 seconds. And once again, hold our breath for 4 seconds. So we're just going to complete a few rounds of that. So if you just keep an eye on the blue dot on the screen. So it's just going to move across for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to hold our breath as the dot stays still. And once the dot moves, we're going to breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding our breath again for 4 seconds, and then inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1, holding once more, and breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding our breath again. And inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding once again, and breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, and then the last out breath for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great stuff. So just on that, that's a very, very short, simple little exercise. Again, that was probably less than 2 minutes there. So you can have perhaps a regular time in the day when you might do that. You might have regular slots throughout the day. Or perhaps if you find yourself in a stressful situation, you might feel yourself starting to get tense. You might be anxious or in pain, and you can just use that little practice to help calm yourself at any stage throughout the day. So just before I go, I'd just like to thank everyone for your attention this morning. I hope you found the little tools and the little practices beneficial. I hope you found them enjoyable this morning, and perhaps you will use them going forward as well, and they'll benefit you in your day-to-day life. Just in terms of our own internal HSE supports, we have the EAP. We also have Minding Your Wellbeing training, which is in-person training. And then there's external supports available there on the screen. I think Grace might have them in the chat as well, from Mental Health Ireland, Ask About Alcohol, and Stress Control. So thanks.